This is Mr. Mark, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to calculate your profits on eBay if you're selling on eBay. And for one, I'll take a look at the different factors that actually affect your profit. The first of which is the cost of obtaining the item that you're selling, the original cost of the item, which of course includes tax, shipping, and any other expenses or costs that you incur in the process of obtaining the item. Now, if you're selling an item that you've had around the house for 10 years, of course, you may not really consider the cost of obtaining that item because so much time has passed. But if you're actually buying items and reselling them, then you need to calculate the actual cost of obtaining that item, the original cost of the item. The second thing is the actual buyer's payment. So this basically boils down to what you are charging for the item, right? So this is the amount that the buyer pays, which includes shipping if the buyer is paying for shipping. Number 3 is the shipping cost, meaning the cost of you shipping the item to the buyer. So if you're paying for shipping, all right, the shipping cost would be the money that you are spending to ship the item to the buyer. Number 4 is the PayPal fee. Now, the PayPal fee is whatever the buyer pays in that transaction. So whatever the buyer sends you, whatever that payment is, multiplied by 2.9% plus 30 cents. That is how they determine your PayPal fees. Number 5 is the final value fee, which comes from eBay itself. And the final value fee is equal to the buyer's payment times the final value fee percent. Now, the final value fee percent is 10% in most cases. However, in certain categories, there are other percentages, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Number 6, the insertion fee. Now, eBay gives you 50 free listings every month, right? 50 free listings per month. But if you go past the 50 listings, then you pay, I believe it is 35 cents for each additional listing. So actually, here's a picture of the fees, which I took off of the PayPal site. And as you can see, flat rate per transaction, right? eBay payments 2.9% plus 30 cents. So 2.9% of the payment plus 30 cents. Okay, and then we have eBay insertion fees and the final value fee that I discussed before. And as you can see, first 50 listings are free per month, 35 cents for each additional listing. 10% is the final value fee for most categories, as it says. And with a maximum fee of $750, so they cannot charge you any more than $750. But then you have certain other categories where it's 12%, and you have some of these categories such as heavy equipment, business, and industrial categories where it is 2% for the final value fee, and the maximum is only $300. And the insertion fee, however, is $20. And then for musical instruments and gear, the insertion fee is actually free. However, the final value fee is 3.5%, which is actually good because it's much lower than the general fee of 10%. So, and it has a maximum of $350. So this is actually pretty good. Okay, so this is the breakdown of your insertion fees and the final value fee. And now for the eBay profit formula. So considering fees and the original cost and what the buyer is paying, here's the formula. Profit basically is the difference between your income and expenses. So your profit is whatever the buyer is paying you, right? That money that you're receiving from the buyer minus what you paid to get the item, minus whatever it's going to cost for you to ship the item to the buyer, if it costs you anything at all. If it's zero, then it's just zero, minus the PayPal fee, whatever that amounts to, minus the final value fee, which comes from eBay, right? So this is the buyer payment. Everything else is pretty much an expense, right? So we have to subtract all of that. All right, for example, Mary bought an item for $10 and plans to sell it on eBay for $20. She offers the buyer free shipping and will pay $3.95 to ship the item. So she's going to pay the shipping. Okay, so how much profit will Mary make on the sale? So the buyer's payment is $20 because she's selling it on eBay for $20. All right, so the buyer's payment is $20. The original cost is $10. Okay, the shipping cost is $3.95, and the PayPal fee is going to be $20, what the buyer will actually pay, times 2.9% plus 30 cents, which amounts to 88 cents. And if you've sold on eBay, you might have noticed that you'll actually see it in your PayPal account, that they've already subtracted the PayPal fee. All right, the eBay final value fee in this case is going to be 10%, assuming it's just in one of the most general categories. So that's going to be 20 times 10%, which is $2. Okay, that's the final value fee. The profit, therefore, is equal to the buyer's payment of $20, right? That money that's coming towards you. However, you have to subtract all of these expenses: the original cost of $10, the cost to ship it to the buyer, which was $3.95, the PayPal fee you were charged, 88 cents, the final value fee, $2, which leaves you with $3.17. So that is the profit that Mary will make on the sale. So the power of knowing how to predict your profit is that you will be able to tell ahead of time what price will give you a certain amount of profit, so you don't potentially underprice your item and either get very little profit or lose your profit entirely, or actually in some cases even end up losing money. Okay, so it's very important to know how exactly your profit is calculated. Now, of course, you can do this by hand and with help of a calculator, but I actually have a spreadsheet that I use. And I have a Google sheet, but this is actually an Excel sheet that I created. And the way it works is you just fill in your information here. So let's say my supplier is Amazon, for instance. I'll type in Amazon for the supplier. And then let's say my product is, I'll just make something up. I'll just say jeans, right? And I'll even use the Mary example. So let's say, or at least I'll use those same numbers. Let's say the price is, I'll try to come up with the price. Let's say the price is $8, and I'll just make up some numbers. Let's say it's $1 for tax and $1 for shipping. All right, so let's say the total cost is $10. All right, so what this does is it adds up all of these cells. Then you come up with the resale price. So for instance, your resale price is $20. The shipping is paid by the buyer? No. The shipping is paid by the seller? Yes. So you're going to choose one or the other. Either the shipping is paid by the buyer or it's paid by the seller. So if you are paying the shipping and you are the seller, right, then you will put the cost of shipping here. Let's say it's $3.95. Okay, so the total being paid by the buyer is $20. But if you had the buyer, just to show you how this works, if the buyer was paying the shipping, you would put the $3.95 here. And as you can see, the total paid by the buyer would now be $23.95, right? However, I'm going to pay the shipping in this case, $3.95. Then I go over to the final value fee percent, and I type in 10. All right, and I left this blank because I figured if you are selling in one of those categories, like heavy equipment, you may have a different final value fee. So I left this open so you can type in whatever your final value fee is. Then the listing fee. All right, some people are doing 50 or less items, so they have no listing fee, and then there are other people who are paying a listing fee on certain items. So in my case, it would just be 0, right, because I still have less than 50. And so my total fees, okay, are going to add this number, the final value fee, with this, the PayPal fees, and the listing fee. Okay, so if you look at the formula, it sums up M, which is the PayPal fee, O, the final value fee, and P, which is the listing fee, all together. And it gives you this, the pay after fees, and the profit. All right, so the pay after fees, which is basically the buyer's payment, whatever the buyer paid, which is basically the resale price. All right, minus all of these fees. All right, so basically this is saying what's left after the fees. All right, so if I'm going to charge the buyer $20, what is going to be left after they subtract the fees from that? And it is $17.12. That is the pay after fees. The profit, therefore, is $317 because the profit is this pay that's left. Okay, we will now subtract from that the total fees, also the original cost. All right, so actually we take the pay after fees, we subtract the total cost of obtaining the item, which is H, and we also subtract the cost of shipping, which is K. Right, so again, this is the pay after fees, and then the profit is this pay after fees, and then I subtract the original cost of getting the item, and I subtract the cost of shipping the item. All right, excuse me. That gives me my profit, which is $317, just as I had calculated in the PowerPoint presentation. Right, a total cost of $10 for an item, $20 resale, $395 to ship it to the buyer. Okay, 10% final value fee, no listing fee, and this is the profit. And the way the spreadsheet works, okay, what I've done is I've protected these, so you cannot. Now, see, this cannot. I couldn't do this with the Google Sheet, so I do have a Google Sheet version, but the great thing about the actual Excel version is that you cannot accidentally delete the formulas. And this spreadsheet will be available through my website. Okay, I'll provide a link in the video to a page where you can actually get the actual Excel file from my website. The Google Sheet is shareable from the description of the video, the Google Sheet version. Okay, so if you have a Google account, all right, you can actually click that link and you'll have instantaneous access to the Google Sheet. But again, remember that with the Google Sheet, you have to know how to copy the formulas down, and the formulas are not protected and stuff like that, right? So it's going to be a little different. But if you don't have the actual Excel, if you don't have Excel, I really highly recommend purchasing Excel from Amazon, not from Microsoft. Okay, I have links in the description of this video where you can purchase it from Amazon. It is significantly cheaper for the same thing. Okay, you can get up to 6 users for $80, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Access, and Publisher. Okay, that can be installed on up to 6 computers for, I just bought it recently for $80 on Amazon as opposed to $100 on Microsoft.com, all right, or Office.com. So follow the link in the description of this video. You can also buy the version for 1 user for $50 right now. So do check out those links. But anyway, this is the spreadsheet. I just have to reprogram it so that it'll continue automatically add in more rows as you add more data to the table. And again, you can get this on my website. All of this stuff will be linked in the description of this video. And if you like this video, if you find it helpful, feel free to hit like and feel free to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.